Just had to turn off the electric fan for a second. Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of the Magic Arena Run. Today we are taking a look at Midweek Magic. It's just regular old standard. It makes sense for a special event. But though I feel like if you really want to be testing out a lot of cards from new Capenna, you probably would have had to spend quite a bit of money just to check out the new hotness. But I believe most people would not have access to the new hotness, at least not a lot of the cards quite yet. So we're going to be taking a look at one of the good old standbys. Now this is actually the deck I used to pretty much plow my way at least up to diamond for the last 2 months or so. And this is just a standard mono white build. I used to play a standard mono green build, but then I realized I really need to have a lot of interaction. Especially truer now than ever, so this is a bit more of an exile build, which is why we have 3 copies of Stonebinder's Familiar. But otherwise, it's all about having interaction. 3 copies of Skyclave Apparition, 3 copies of Brutal Cathar, 4 copies of Elite Spellbinder as a proactive way to exile. Have a few copies of Wandering Emperor. We also have 3 copies of Talia, Guardian of Traben, to stall out some of the control decks, even if just a little bit. Actually, very good in conjunction with Elite Spellbinder. We have the usual playsets of Luminarch Aspirant, Usher of the Fallen, a few copies of Hopeful Initiate, some copies of March of Otherworldly Light. The deck is very simple for the most part, and that's pretty much what I like about this deck. It plays really quickly, it gives you quite a lot of interaction, and when you start running out of cards and you haven't killed your opponent, you can concede without shame, because you know your gig is up. That's pretty much what I enjoy about this deck. You can play games very quickly. You can punt. You do have streaks of losing, but you also have streaks of winning as well. It really depends on the situation. And it's not often that you're in a situation where you don't have a reasonable hand. So here we will definitely keep this turn 2 Aspirant. If we don't hit the land, that's where the 1 copy of Loyal Warhound comes in. I actually had a few more copies until I realized, wait a minute, I have too many cards. Opponent pumping the Initiate, they're going for the aggro. Now I could put this here, but we're just gonna go tit for tat. Also, our opponent putting the counter and Initiate makes it harder for them to actually benefit from the training. Crawling Barrens is a classic, but I feel like I prefer Cave of the Frost Dragon because it at least does not interfere with our early drops. Now, if we don't hit our land, which we did not, we can do Loyal Warhound will set us up for the next turn. Probably want to I'm gonna put this here just to give us a way to punch through Talia and keep things even. Next turn we can choose between Apparition or Spellbinder. The deck really is a 3-mana deck for the most part. You do not want to be left behind. Speaking of left behind, I left behind the deck list. Big moves. So opponent going in for quite a bit of damage. That's 6. We can take it. We'll see what our opponent's follow-up is. At 4 mana, we probably... Okay, opponent goes for Redain. Doesn't really... It will affect March a bit unless I exile this. So... I'm still gonna exile Redain anyway. Now there's a good chance I don't... Well, because this is a tree anyway. Yeah, I'd say we put this here. So we're kind of now at parity, but not in a very good way. We probably will end up chumping with an Aspirant. Opponent slightly flooded. Yeah, also Redain has kind of... It has fallen out of favor outside of the big mono against the big mono black control decks. We cannot take 8, so I might as well just chump 1. Opponent has a Wandering Emperor that will keep the Aspirant alive.
Run away. You'll be safe.
So now the question is, can we beat our opponent with what we have? Unfortunately, the answer is not really. I can play Adeline, that will 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh wait, we can. Hold on. So X equals 2, exile 2 cards. And when we attack, Adeline gives us the free 1/1 to 4 Xaxes. Yeah, that's actually one of the nice things of March of Otherworldly Light, especially in in mono white. So there we go. That was actually that's a very solid match. We had the extra damage to go through. Took us a bit of math to do it, but we kept ourselves in position to win that game. We're not gonna play that many games with for this episode because it's standard. I've actually been doing a lot of focus on Explorer recently. That's pretty much the neat thing I've been doing for the most part. But I wanted to see how much has standard changed. Well, if that first match is anything to go by, maybe not so much. So we have a solid 1-2-3 plan. We want to preserve the March, and the Skyclave Apparition is actually very good against their Planeswalkers. Opponent just holding back. Let's keep the pressure a bit. Also, our opponent went first, so that means they missed a land drop. Probably gonna put it on the Usher. If our opponent is sandbagging, what's that spell? Vanishing Verse. Yeah, there's an argument for putting in the Aspirant, but well, yeah, that was another play that we could have foreseen. We could have also just done March at that point, but we got the March. We got their Otherworldly Light out of the way. Now we need to start stacking tokens on this Usher if possible. I'm already suspicious of a possible Meat Hook Massacre. Opponent might just have another VV. That's okay. So we're not going to play out this Usher. Opponent's use Vanishing Verse still pretty. Despite all the many additions to new Capenna, Vanishing Verse is still quite solid. I might see a return to Rite of Oblivion because there are certain new targets that it doesn't hit anymore. Opponent has a third copy of Vanishing Verse. Okay. That will explain the sandbag. They probably have a fourth copy somewhere along the line, so okay, no fourth copy. Yeah, let's get out of the way. We'll do Wandering Emperor. We'll just do a we'll just do a -1. Try to get an extra body in the. Oh, looks like our opponent literally just had nothing but Vanishing Versus. So we managed to get that. That was a weird win. I have no way to quantify that win, other than thank you, I guess. Nice Chariots. But otherwise, based on the size of the video you're watching, that's pretty much the hallmark of this deck. You win quickly or you lose quickly. And there are cases where the matches do get really tight, but unless you've been breaking on your draws or your opponent really has something you could not answer, you should be fine. Want to take some mulligan. Now, Talia is usually Usher, so we have our own Usher. Now, Talia only wrecks our March of Otherworldly Light, though we can semi-mitigate it with the right cards. It also wrecks our Wandering Emperor a bit, so we have to keep that in mind. Luminar Aspirant. Gonna do the auto block because we are going to Talia. Now, based on the creature that comes out, if we might want to save one Skyclave app. Well, we definitely are not going to cast Brutal Qatar on Apparition. And the opponent realizes that our board might be, well, it's gonna be very consistent at the least. We're definitely gonna save one we're gonna save one Apparition for sure. Yeah, because I don't like the idea. Now, to be fair, we have the mana, so having the Elite Spellbinder come back is not the worst thing that could happen. Yeah, we're gonna just Skyclave we're just gonna Apparition their Spellbinder. Opponent. We can keep sandbagging Iganjo at least. Also, Adeline. Okay. That's a weird place to stack that counter. I think our best bet is just to Qatar this out of here. Let's keep the pressure on. Opponent's down to a few cards. They have their own Skyclave Apparition, which knocks out their Qatar. We have to decide if we... But we have... Yeah, sure. But we have the mana already for this at that point. So... Now, we could trade Apparitions. That just gives us 3 tokens each. I'm gonna actually offer it. Simplify the board as much as possible. Now, there is a way we could get got. If our opponent's playing the older list with Maul of the Skyclaves, which we conveniently are not playing, then we have a problem. Hopeful Initiate is fine. Oh yeah, we had to pay an extra. Oh yeah, we had to pay an extra one because of our own Talia. That's something to keep in mind. we can start trimming their board a little bit. Their hopeful initiate will grow. We will take that hit. No, opponent concedes. Okay, so kind of interesting. Looks. We've had one matchup against white-black control. There could be blue. There could be blue. Just didn't see it from the lands they played. And two white and two mono white matchups. Is everyone just playing mono white because it's just the fastest deck? It would make sense for this event because it's a free event, but you don't want to invest cards on trying out something new. You might want to invest in maybe one of the festivals. I'm actually glad that the upcoming festival series, short events, but pretty much you play until you hit 5 wins. There is no lockout. So we don't have a turn 1 play this time, and our opponent still gets to go first. We air quotes have a turn 1 play. Opponent plays Tenacious Underdog. I have no idea, but I'm scared enough of Obnixilis to take that out. So not a great. We have the option at least. It is Raffine, so has Ward 1, but we do get to punt. So we're not gonna be able to apparition this right away. Probably best bet is just to play Adeline. Yeah, opponent just eats the token. That's fine. Next turn we can snipe Raffine. Opponent probably just has a kill spell. That's fine. Yeah, Ward 1 is good, but it's not perfect. Also, thankfully, our opponent did not have removal for this. This would have been... Oh, it would have been a 3x. Oh, okay, not too bad. We are sandbagging. Okay, not.
Darkness will swallow you. My power is for annihilation.
Yeah, we're gonna send it all to Loth. My expectation is our opponent's gonna do a double block, which is where Eiganjo comes in.
Do what I demand.
Also, with people playing multicolored versions of Control these days, I'm not so worried about Blood in the Snow. I'm still worried about okay, an Underdog is fine. Wedding Announcement is fine for the most part. Opponent is played out. I'm probably gonna play Usher here. Opponent can easily just trade this board, so we're going to actually make a different offer here. I kind of wish we had another way to get a +1/+1 counter as a way to snipe Wedding Announcement. But now our opponent is gonna have to either blitz to draw cards or rely on whatever they have off the top. Any card a land that's not another Cave of the Frost Dragon is actually quite good for us. Aspirant is meh. Opponent's not even going to... Okay, actually perfect. Send the whole team in. And opponent concedes, yeah. They don't know about the Wandering Emperor, but they figured that even after blocks, they're not going to survive much. I will say that is a weird composition for control, though. It's possible our opponent did not hit their board wipes. And speaking of board wipes, if you have access to black, you should really reconsider Shadow's Verdict. It's a very good way to wipe out all those Ob Nixilis tokens. So yeah, I think we'll do one more match for today. But otherwise, it's just play quickly, win quickly, lose quickly. Everything's fast, so it's perfect if you are very busy and you just want to collect your wins. I've played like about 5 games for today. Okay, this one's probably not the best keep. I would really prefer having the third land, but at least having turn 1, turn 2 plays kind of helps us. And sometimes your opponent concedes. Okay, we'll have to do one more game because we'll have to do one more game because, man, that was weird. Or is it or is it just a way of saying call it a day? You already have a good 20-minute video. We'll do one more. Yeah, I should also be preparing for later. Though technically I have half an hour to prep for Pokemon Unite later this evening. Okay, sometimes we do get dud hands. This one is definitely one of them. We need one land just to make just to enable parts of our other deck. We're definitely taking them all. Okay, this one's a definite keep. The question is, which kind of interaction do we keep? Without knowing what our opponent has. I might even bin the Usher. This is a huge gamble. If I don't hit my third land, this is going to be super embarrassing. But hey. And mono white. Again. Do it like this because our opponent is not going to trade that way. Opponent playing white-blue. So this looks new. We did not hit our turn. Yeah, we did not hit our land, so that's a bit embarrassing. So go to combat. We'll offer the familiar. I'm not gonna offer the aspirant. At the least we drew into our 1-drops, and that's really considering we milled a 1-drop. Opponent has another aspirant, so spreading the love a bit. Opponent's still probably not gonna swing. Oh my gosh, this is embarrassing. I'm actually gonna stack it here. Opponent's not gonna block. Yeah, we're gonna be in real trouble the moment our opponent hits 4 mana, but okay, Skyclave Apparition. They're going to dome our aspirant at last. Yeah, I probably should have spread it out in other ways. Now they're going to start chunking counters onto the Usher. Yeah, this is where the deck fails if you don't hit your mana. But mark my words, once I hit that third mana, Linvala's gonna wreck it. Okay, we finally hit our third mana. So here comes the... I can spend 1 Brutal Cathar, force our opponent to sacrifice Linvala just to give it hexproof. Yeah, I think we will do that. We'll see how our opponent responds. I just need to get Linvala off the table, and that is fine. But now we need... Our opponent now being at 4 mana is a concern. I'm also more concerned that... Now, because it's nighttime, this Brutal Qatar actually does nothing. So we're actually going to go Elite Spellbinder. Maybe our opponent has counter spells? We'll find out if we do get a peek on their hand. Most likely they have a counter for this. Kyodai. Super weird. So Talia, Brutal Qatar, Intrepid, Adversary. The Adversary is going to make things awkward. But so does Qatar. So we're actually going to snipe their Qatar. We can take the Adversary. Now we do have ways to get past this, but we need to hit a 1-drop. Or we need to sandbag the Qatar for as long as possible. Or maybe our opponent casts 2 spells? Who's to say? But we do have a problem with Kyodai now. If we get to this point, we are probably sniping Kyodai and Adeline. Land is not gonna do it. So but I'm still gonna play it. Because we need to set up in the event that we hit our other spells. But this is probably one of the longest standoffs, if there is any. Now, things do get awkward if our opponent is able to play their Brutal Qatar. But yeah, we probably are going to lose this one. Though if our opponent's just constantly stacking on Adeline and Kyodai, we might be fine. Okay, they're also sending the Apparition in. We have to take damage from... We're probably going to take 11 damage off the top. Just block here. I could chump block. We could chump this one out. 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we could chump Adeline. Also, because there's a bit of a mistiming, it has to... If I cast 2 spells, this flips on our opponent's turn, so we don't actually get the benefit. Unfortunately, we are kind of bricking. Now, I could send these, but yeah, this is not good. Yeah, this is the case. As you can see, this is a win quickly, lose quickly scenario. Technically, we have lost. Kyodai is gonna... We are gonna be forced to chump with almost everything at this point. Though our opponent is very confident to just swing with... They should send Apparition also. Oh, they're actually... Come on, hit a spell. March of Otherworldly Light is a spell. But we have to note that this is +1, so I can take out Usher. I can also take out the token, but it's realistically we're only taking out the Usher here. But it's a good thing I played all those lands to make it happen. Now, one thing to note is if our opponent does hit their land drop, their Brutal Qatar messes with our Brutal Qatar. Yeah, this is good game already. Yeah, that's the awkwardness I was talking about, but... Well, at least we did get our shot. And usually, the way we survive the long game is with Brutal Qatar. Though, in this case, we did not. But heck, that's fine. We don't win all the time, and this is... And that is perfectly fine, especially for an event like this. We don't... As much as possible, I try not to promise, oh, you're gonna get an incredible win rate. No. As much as possible, I promise that there will be good synergy, that you would be able to play it. It will be able to perform. You're not going to be frustrated more often than not. That's the least I can offer. That's going to be it for this episode of the Magic Arena Run. If you like what you saw, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Turn on notifications and whatnot. Again, not exactly super exciting, but this is what I play for the most part. So it's pretty much a personal glimpse into what I do. I I guess I guess every once in a while I should show what decks do I pilot, but that's gonna be for another time. That said, thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you guys again next time. Take care. God bless. Stay safe wherever you are. Have a great week, everyone.